I don't often get asked to speak on Christianity, so I decided to say yes to the opportunity. When I was thinking about it, I was thinking about, is Christianity known to be a faith of rules and regulations? And I'm also thinking that this is the year of the Olympics, and a lot of the Olympics is going to be about rules and regulations. And that made me think of something called the Golden Rule. And the Golden Rule, its other name is an ethic of reciprocity. It's an ethical code, and it was first spoken probably by Rabbi Hillel, who's I think a contemporary around about the time of Jesus. And then it's also attributed to Jesus, but you actually find the Golden Rule in most faiths. And basically the Christian version of it says, and this, if you want to look it up later, it's Matthew 7 verse 12, "In everything do to others as you would have them do to you, for this is the law and the prophets." So basically it's saying you treat other people how you would wish to be treated. I then started to think about how some people will say that Christianity as a faith is a crutch. It's something for people to lean on when they're in trouble. And so some people might say it's a hospital religion, a hospital faith. There's another word very similar to hospital, and that's hospitality. And one of the things about Christianity, at least I believe it is a very generous faith. And certainly in the chaplaincy where I work, in any chaplaincy that I've been part of creating and developing, authentic hospitality has got to be the primary factor in a way of operating. So I run at the moment a multi-faith chaplaincy where everybody is welcome, whether they have a faith, religion, belief, or have none of those. And it's a safe space where everybody can come together, have conversation, have coffee, tea, engage in some quite interesting debates, but in a space which allows those debates to happen. So I would say, rather than being a hospital faith, it's a hospitality faith. And it's one of restoration, a faith that draws out the potential in people, encourages and enables people to flourish and to be the people that God intends them to be. I then went on to think about Jesus, and very often people say, well, surely Jesus was just a good moral teacher. Yes, Jesus was a good moral teacher. He didn't claim to be God. He spoke of himself as the Son of Man rather than the Son of God, indicating that in many senses the faith is one of humility and humbleness, but it's also one of obedience and of a givingness, which means Jesus was willing to go the road through Jerusalem to the cross and accept what was done to him. Not because he thought he was higher than everybody else, but because that was how it was going to be. Very quickly, the last 2 points is that very often people say, well, there are no female disciples. Well, I would want to challenge that, because in the Bible, certainly women tend to be invisible. But I've got a long list here of women in the New Testament, and they include people like Mary, the mother of Jesus, Sisters Mary and Martha of Bethany, Susanna, Priscilla, Tabitha, Lydia, Phoebe, and the list goes on. So I would want to say that one of the myths that can be challenged is that there clearly were women disciples. They just weren't written about, because that's how it was. And very lastly, is Christianity a remote faith? Well, clearly the key belief in Christianity is that God became man in Jesus, and actually got his hand, well, if you believe in a male God, I tend to sometimes refer to God as both male and female, that God got his hands dirty and actually got down with everybody else. That's my 5 minutes.